Thank you, sir. I would like to give a brief introduction about Dr. M. Chandrakumar. He is a distinguished sports person and the former professor of physical education at University of Mysore. He had a brilliant educational career in physical education and sports science. He completed his bachelor's degree from University of Mysore with a first rank, and he also completed his master's degree from University of Bangalore, securing the first rank. He also obtained his PhD in physical education and sports science from Bangalore University in the year 1995. Professor Chandrakumar has started his teaching career in physical education as a lecturer and went on to rise to the level of professor and chairperson of the Department of Physical Education and Sports Science at the University of Mysore. During his academic and research career in physical education, he has successfully guided 9 students for the award of a PhD degree. He has completed a major research project sponsored by University Grants Commission, New Delhi, and he has published several research papers in reputed journals on sports education and fitness. He has shared his knowledge as a speaker in several trainings, workshops, and conferences. He is a serving member of many professional bodies on physical education and sports science. To name a few, he is an executive president of Mysore District Volleyball Association, member of a selection committee of Karnataka Volleyball Association, etc. Dr. Chandrakumar is an excellent academician in physical education and sports science. He is not only an excellent academician, but he is also a successful volleyball player in his youth. Some of his notable achievements on the field are as follows. He represented the state of Karnataka as a volleyball player between the year 1975 and 1986. He was a captain of Mysore University volleyball team during the year 1973 and 74. He was a captain of Mysore district volleyball team at the district level between 1974 and 1986. This is only a brief introduction of Dr. Chandrakumar. With this brief introduction, I would like to request Dr. Chandrakumar to share the knowledge and enlighten us with his talk on health, fitness, and wellness through physical activities. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Please take over the desk, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, friends. It's my pleasure to speak to you on this occasion, that is induction now, for the year 2021. You are all fortunate students to get a seat in JCE and to undergo BE program in various subjects. I believe that is when you are studying in 10th, 11th and 12th, you have not done anything on the field, and afterwards also your concentration was only to get high marks and always studying. And with this, after this March 2020, this pandemic disease, COVID, has taken a lot of lives throughout the globe. You know all these things. Now this virus infection is not a new thing. This virus had come to during 2002 and 2012 also. This was known as then SARS and MERS, that is Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome disease by the virus. and this SARS-2 was modified into COVID-19 now. You know, the whole world is suffering, irrespective of the caste, creed, community, and other things also. This virus has invaded almost all the nooks and corners of the world and caused several deaths. And that fear of this virus, still it is there, and it will be there throughout next year also, that is this year 2021. And as per the scientists and task force members, this will vanish only after 2022. All of them are trying to find out the vaccine, but none of them achieved. Only few, 3-4 members, 3 countries have achieved, and that is still that effectiveness of that virus is not yet still decided. Anyhow, we will get it. But all were telling that for this virus there is no medicine. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself, and all of them were recommending to improve your immunity by doing physical exercises. That means exercises and physical work is essential to each and every one to combat the diseases. This is not a new thing. This is not a first slide. This is not. Now, after this, I thought of concentrating on only the effects of exercises and participation in sports, how it helps the individual and to maintain health and wellness of the individual. Accordingly, I chose this topic, and I wanted to tell some information, and you have to be aware with all these things, and you have to practice to get rid of this virus infection as well as to combat other viruses infections too. And at the same time, you have to live happily, and you have to maintain that wellness status throughout your career from birth to the last breath, first slide. All of you agree that life is a gift given by a God. All will agree, life is a gift given by God. That life we have to enjoy carefully, meticulously, following certain principles, and without causing any damage and harmfulness to the body. Then only it becomes a gift, otherwise it will become a curse too. For that we have to thank God, you have to enjoy by doing all the required work, keeping your body, mind and the spirit in good condition. For that, every man and woman should take utmost care of their health and to lead a normal life. This is very much essential, and it is not a new thing to us. Since the 5th century BC, that Hippocrates, the great philosopher, Greek philosopher, has said that eating alone will not keep a man well. He must also take exercise. Without exercise, you cannot maintain and you cannot get the required physical fitness, and something will go wrong, and all the physiological and the metabolic functions will be affected. And for that, exercise is the best medicine. During those days, they were using this exercise as medicine. Now the doctors also prescribe exercise is medicine, and you have to follow all these things. Next time. As per the WHO, that is World Health Organization, they have prescribed certain criteria to maintain the good health and wellness. As per the global survey conducted by this global agency, that is the WHO, the lifestyle 53% affects how you enjoy your life and what actually makes you to lead a life in a required manner, that 50% of this will affect your health. If it is a good habit and healthful conditions, then your health will be fine. And for this, environment contribution is only 21%, and health care, of course, after if you are that is if the health is upset, if the health care, proper health care is not there, that is only 10%, and purely that is only 60% of your genetic component will determine your health status. Based on this, they have made a, that is during 10 itself, they have said that the common man can live up to 4.4 years, that is the life expectancy of the common man throughout the globe. And out of this 77.4 years of health, life expectancy, normal life and active life will be only 65.8 years. And the another 12 to 11.6 to 12 point something years, that will be on the table with the medicine, with the help of the medication. You have to live. That is not an active life, that is an inactive life, but life, your individual will be living. Next, please. What I want to say is there are certain principles you have to follow throughout your life. For your kind information, somewhere I found this information. Some scientists discovered 9 simple ways to live more than 100 years. More than 100 years, even 110 and 120 also. And they say, I have taken certain principles out of this information. Please, next slide. And there, the scientists found 5 blue zones on Earth where residents reach more than the age of 90, even the older also. Not only living 90 or 100 years, they are throughout that life, they are very active. That is, one place is Sardana of Italy, Aquino of Japan, Nicoya of Costa Rica, and Ikari of Greece, and the Seventh-day Adventist community in Loma Linda, California. None of them involve in crazy diets, and they said only 10% of how long the average person lives is dictated by their gene, they said. And the other 90%, is dictated by our lifestyles. The average human body is capable of living more than 90 years. As per the statistics, in America it is more than 78, in India it is only 67, and out of this 67 plus 12 years, you are living on the table. And everyone wants to find out the reasons, and everyone wants to go there. And what they found was, next slide please, 9 principles they have adopted. 9 simple principles throughout their life they have adopted. The first principle is they don't do exercise. That means they don't go to the gymnasium or go to the play fields and does the exercise. And none of them exercise. That is, as we think, that is exercise. And at least the way we think of exercising, instead, they set up their lives so that they are constantly nudged into physical activity. Morning till evening on every day, they are nudged into physical activity. Because the Sardana is a place where they live in hilly regions, up and down the stairs they have to move throughout the day. They don't have any conveniences, motor vehicles, scooter, motorcycles like that. That is, motor gadgets are not there. There is not a button to push to do yard work or housework. At work also, because we have in a modern these things, we have every facility, electrical and electronic facilities. If you go to kitchen, we find almost all places are occupied with this gadget. Grinder will be there, mixer will be there, this will be there, that will be there. Some only we have to push the button and you have to do the work done. But they don't use anything, and they are not a button to push to do yard work or housework. If they want to mix up cake, they use their hand only. And they said we have this area where men live longest, and where people not only reach the age of 100, they do so with extraordinary vigor at that age also. That is more important. Places where 1 or 2 years old still ride their bike to work, chop wood, and can beat a guy of 60 years younger than them. This is the thing they are following. Then they have a purpose of living. They have a vocabulary for sense of purpose. In the Okinawa language, there is no word of retirement, no question of retirement. As long as they are as long as they are breathing, they are not retired. Even the 100-year-old fisherman continues to catch fish for his family 3 times a week. Believe that? That is 100-year-old man. And for this 1 or 2 years, that is, look at the right side picture. One picture is there, one grand old lady is holding her great granddaughter. That is 4th generation. And when she was asked how you are feeling like that, then she said that it feels like a leaping into heaven. It feels like a leaping into heaven. That means that she is enjoying it. Next. And they know how to relax. Of course, now during 21st century, this relaxation, so many relaxation techniques are there. In spite of that, men and women are not able to relax comfortably. And each of these cultures takes time to downshift. And when you are in a hurry or stressed out, that triggers something called inflammatory response, which is associated with everything from Alzheimer's diseases to cardiovascular diseases, even for some extent Parkinson's diseases. That means they know the art of technique. They are not having that much of stress. And more than anything else, they eat less. The greatest diet suggestions ever invented is known as the Harahachi Bun, that is diet. That simply literally says before their meal to remind them to stop eating when their stomach is 80% full. That means another 20% they keep it as a reserve, because they think that's because it takes 20 minutes for the full feeling to travel to the brain. And they have all kinds of little strategies to keep from overeating. Overeating is not at all there. And they eat of smaller plates, so they tend to eat fewer calories at every sitting. Then they eat only a plant-based diet. A plant-based diet full of vegetables with lots of color in them. Eat about 8 times as much tofu as Americans do. Experts say tofu contains all 9 essential amino acids and is a great source of iron, but lots of beans and nuts they eat. And the 6th principle is they focus on family. The foundation of all this is how they connect people among family members. They put their families first and take care of their children, and not only the children and their aging parents too. Look at the picture, how they are enjoying. Next. They have a strong relationship. They also belong to a right tribe. They were either born into or they proactively surrounded. Now in 21st century, everything is individual based. They pray. They all tend to belong to faith-based community. Once in a week, once in a day. According to one study, they found a link between praying regularly and living longer. That means pray, contribute something. One study found that attending services regularly can add an average of 4 years in person's life. And they drink too also, but just a little bit. But just a little bit. These people drink a little bit every day, not a hard sell to the American population. Studies show drinking red wine reduces a risk of heart attacks and lower stress. Particularly red wine, if it is consumed in a less quantity, that will help us in digestion and reduces this heart attacks and lower stress. And because they avoid this on the walls of the artery, that is deposition of cholesterol and everything, that will be removed. While life expectancy is increasing around the world, when it comes to longevity, there is no short-term fix in a pill or anything. Yes, but when you think about it, your friends are long-term adventures, and they are perhaps the most significant thing you can do to add more years to your life and life to your years. And the last but not the least one is the friends. Your best friends can help you live longer and are more important to your health and family when you grow older and older. And 2 studies found good friendship can increase your lifespan. People who value friendship are happier and healthier. The health benefits of friendship grow as people get older, and the quality of friendship is more important than the quantity. Falling out with friends is associated with chronic health issues, particularly during your teenagers. If you fall out with friends, then you will be suffering, and depression, chronic health issues, migraine, so many things will be there. Strained friendship are linked to mental health problems and diabetes and cancer too. Support from family can increase your well-being, but family relations can be tense or monotonous, so hold your family close, but your friends even closer. Next. But what is happening? What is happening in this modern world? Lots of infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases, non-communicable diseases, and you know that infectious diseases caused by invading microorganisms were the leading cause of death a century ago. Apart from this pandemic, COVID-19, of course, vaccines, if the vaccine comes, it will also vanish. But chronic diseases caused by variety of lifestyle and other factors are the leading causes of death today. Lifestyle diseases, non-communicable diseases, not curable diseases. Only thing is we can modify it, that is with the risk can be modified, and by doing exercises and taking some medicines also, that it gives something better. And of course, look at the picture. Overeating, alcohol, sedentary life, excessive consumption of alcohol, all these causes the non-communicable diseases and lifestyle diseases. Next please. Non-communicable diseases, that is NCDs, including heart diseases, stroke, cancer, diabetes, and chronic lung diseases, are collectively responsible for almost 70% of all deaths worldwide. This is of course WHO statistics. Almost 3/4 of all NCD deaths and 82% of the 16 million people who died prematurely before reaching the age of 70. And this occurs both low and middle income countries and even high income countries also. The rise of NCDs has been driven by primarily four major risk factors. The cause for all these non-communicable diseases, that is, one is tobacco use, second one is physical inactivity, the harmful use of alcohol and unhealthy diets. That means physical inactivity plays an important role, and this is the main culprit for all these non-communicable diseases. And this epidemic of non-communicable diseases poses devastating health consequences for individuals, families, and communities, and threatens to overall health systems. And the socio-economic costs associated with NCD make the prevention and control of these diseases a major development imperative for the 21st century. Of course, we say 21st century is era of information, knowledge, and all these things. But in spite of all these things, there is a strong threat, that is, in non-communicable diseases number will be causing a disaster. WHO's mission is to provide leadership and evidence base for international action on surveillance, prevention, and control of these NCDs. And urgent government action is needed to meet global targets to reduce the burden of NCDs. 71% of all deaths are due to non-communicable diseases. More than the infectious diseases, the non-communicable diseases are causing a more damage to human race. And the reason for all these things, what are the main reasons for this non-communicable diseases? And such as heart diseases, stroke, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes are the leading cause of mortality in the world. And this invisible epidemic is an underappreciated cause of poverty and hinders the economic development of many countries. The main causes of all these things are tobacco use, alcohol, excessive use of alcohol, and unhealthy diet, and insufficient physical activity. The insufficient physical activity makes the individual overweight, and after certain time this overweight becomes obesity, and obesity causes raised blood pressure, raised blood sugar, and raised cholesterol. And NCD threat can be overcome using existing knowledge. The solutions are highly cost effective, comprehensive and integrated action of country level led by government is the means to achieve success. Now we are concentrating on only two aspects. One is physical inactivity and healthy diet. Look at the picture. Look at the picture below. These are all unhealthy habits, life unhealthy habits. Next please. Only thing is, by involving yourself in the exercise program or doing physical activity, these common preventable risk factors underlie most non-communicable diseases are the result of, as we already said, particular behaviors. 4 particular behaviors: tobacco use, physical inactivity, unhealthy diet, and harmful use of alcohol that lead to 4 key metabolic and physiological changes. Metabolic and physiological changes. It causes rise in blood pressure and accumulation of fat beneath the skin tissues, and you become overweight, And when you become overweight, you will not be in a position to move anywhere, and it causes obesity and raised blood glucose and raised cholesterol, and due to this your life will become miserable. Next, for the best to avoid all these things, you have to participate in physical activity. That is the recommendation made by the WHO. What is happening to this physical activity at the schools and the colleges is the great concern for school, government, and even communities, for parents too. A lack of physical activity is a significant risk factor for non-communicable diseases, no doubt in it, such as stroke, diabetes, and cancer. Less and less physical activity is occurring in many countries because of advancement of this science. And globally, 23% of adults and 81% of school-going adolescents are not active enough. And getting people to move more is key strategy for reducing the burden of NCDs. That is, the plan of action is formulated by WHO as a global action plan for the prevention and control of NCDs. That is during 2013 to 2020. Action plan was initiated, and the plan calls for 10% reduction in physical inactivity by 2025. Still another 5 years are there, and to contribute to achieving the sustainable development of goals. And WHO provides recommendations for the minimum amount of activity for all age groups for improved health. They prescribe actually based on the global survey they made, and it is very important to know that doing some physical activity better than doing none. Inactive people should start with small amounts of physical activity as a part of their daily routine and gradually increase duration and frequency and intensity over time. And definitely it will give us the desired results, and countries and communities must also take action to provide individuals with more opportunities to be active. That's why physical education, physical activity, and a sports program should be initiated at every stage of schooling, and for youths and for even adults also. A lack of physical activity is a significant factor. Next, physical activity reduces the risk of diseases. Only it reduces the risk of diseases, particularly coronary heart diseases and stroke and diabetes, hypertension, various types of cancer including colon cancer and breast cancer, as well as the mental disorders, depression. And physical activity is also fundamental energy balance and weight control. What you eat, what you spend in the form of energy output, that will be balanced, and no loss, no gain, and weight gain will not be there. Globally, about 23% of adults and 81%, already it is said, 81% of school-going adolescents are not active at all. Generally, women and girls are less active than men and boys, and older adults are less active than younger adults. And regular physical activity definitely helps to maintain a healthy body. And people who are physically active because they have a muscular and cardiorespiratory fitness, and their bone and functional health is in a fine condition, and they have a lower rates of heart diseases and high blood pressure cases and stroke, diabetes, cancer, and depression. Have a lower risk of older individual have a lower risk of falling and of hip or a vertebral fractures. And as per the one survey, now after 65, the people with inactive lifestyles, they develop this normal fall and hip fractures, and because of the density of the bone is reduced and they need assistance. They are more likely to maintain their weight. Next please. All physical activity is not the same as sports. Physical activity is any body, of course, comprehensive and broader definitions we can say physical activity is nothing but a body movement produced by the skeletal muscle. When muscle is attached to the skeleton and this causes contraction and relaxation, that causes exercise and that uses energy, and this includes this sports, exercise and other activities such as playing, walking, any sort of movements is okay. Household chores, gardening and dancing. Any activity, be it for work, to walk or cycle and to from places or as a part of leisure time as a health benefit. Definitely it will have its benefit. And to start with light exercises and go to moderate and then go to vigorous physical activity to bring to the desired results. Intensity refers to the rate at which the activity is being performed. Rate at which the activity is being performed. It can be thought of as how hard a person works to do an activity. This is of course the individual has to decide. The intensity of different forms of physical activity varies between people. It differs, individual differences are there. That is depending on their physical fitness, attitude and behavior, you have to start. Depending on an individual's relative level of fitness. Examples of moderate physical activity could include brisk walking, dancing or household chores. And examples of vigorous physical activity could be running fast, cycling, fast swimming or moving heavy loads. And they recommended, the WHO recommended for all people starting from the age of 5, 60 minutes a day for people between the age of 5 to 17 years old. They have to do it compulsorily. People aged 5 to 17 should have at least 16 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity daily. More than 60 minutes of physical activity a day brings additional health benefits. Next. For older people, that is youth, 18 to 64, the age, 150 minutes a week for people between the age of 18 to 64. Adults aged 18 64 should do at least, no relaxation, at least 150 minutes of moderately intense physical exercise each week, or at least 75 minutes of work every day, or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous activity in order to be beneficial for cardiorespiratory health. All activities should be performed in bouts of at least 10 minutes duration, minimum 10 minutes. You choose any activity, you do it for 10 minutes and you increase the intensity and the frequency and the duration, then definitely you will get a desired benefits. Adults even after the age of 65 and above, they also required to do 3 days in a week of minimum workout. In addition, older people, adults with poor mobility should do physical activity to enhance balance and prevent falls 3 or more days per week. When older adults cannot do the recommended amount of physical activity due to health conditions, they should be as physically active as their ability and conditions allow. All healthy adults need to be physically active. Unless specific medical conditions indicate the contrary, WHO recommendations apply to all people and you have to follow these recommendations. Next please. and people think some physical activity is better than none. That means any activity, any physical activity you do, inactive people should start with small amounts of physical activity and gradually increase the duration, frequency and intensity over time. Inactive adults, older adults and those with disease limitations will have added health benefits when they become more active. Even the nursing lady or a pregnant woman, they are required to do some sort of physical activities. Next, support for this. They insisted on governments, communities and uh, planning commissions so to give all environmental support and communities to help people to be physically active by providing all required physical facilities to do this physical activity. These policies should ensure that walking, cycling and other forms of active transportations are accessible and safe for all. Labor and workplace policies encourage physical activity. Schools have safe spaces and facilities for students to spend their free time actively, and sports and recreation facilities provide opportunity for everyone to be physically active. These are all mandatory rules when you want to start the college or a school or anything, and you have to provide minimum facilities for the sports and physical education activities, and that's why they insist this regulation. And next please. Next important thing is obesity. Look at the picture, how these boys are enjoying their food and looking at the television, sitting comfortably on the chair and eating so much of food. What will happen to the body if they don't do exercise? This is the most concern of all governments, including WHO, because this obesity is a global epidemic, they say, global epidemic. For this, they do not know how to make use of the worthy leisure time, and they do not know what to eat and what not to eat, and they do not know when to eat, what to eat, where to eat, and simply eating, sitting comfortably, and they will not be knowing what they ate also, because they were always looking at the television. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿದ್ದೇಶ್ವರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, you have to enjoy the food, look at the food, enjoy the food, ಆಮೇಲೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸೇವನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. Now sometimes when you are doing computer work and all, without looking at the food, you are consuming it, and you will not be knowing at the end how much you ate. Am I right? Next. The most concern, because I take only the physical inactivity and this obesity, because we are concerned with this. Look at this picture. How old is he? How old is he?
Maybe 20 years.
Huh?
Maybe 20 years.
Around 22 years. Around 22 years. You look at the size of the body he is having. Size of the body, what he can do. What will happen to him after a few years? What will happen to him after a few years? And this is known as overweight case and the obesity. Overweight is not a real problem, and if this lean body mass and the fat body mass is proportionately, it is there in the body according to the size of the frame, then it is not a problem. Only with the accumulation of the fat, then it becomes overweight. And if this fat accumulation is there at the abdominal region and the thigh region, then it becomes obese, and due to this, you will not be in a position to move anywhere. Obesity has reached epidemic proportions globally, with at least 2.8 million people dying each year as a result of being overweight or obese. ಹಸ್ದು ಸತ್ತವನಿಲ್ಲ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಿಂದು ಸತ್ತಿರೋರೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. Starvation is not a problem. Starvation is not a problem. Overeating is a problem. Once associated with high income countries, obesity is now also prevalent in low and middle income countries too. Governments, international partners, civil society, non-governmental organizations and the private sector all have vital roles to play in contributing to obesity prevention. Overweight and obesity are declined as abnormal or excessive fat and accumulation that may impair health. This is due to imbalance of energy. Consumption will be more, output will be less due to this accumulation of this, and it will be converted into fat and occupies all vulnerable places, that particularly abdomen and thigh region, and it becomes obese. Next please. And this whether he is obese or overweight can be calculated by a simple formula. Ready-made formula is there, that is known as body mass index, and the weight in kilograms divided by the square of the height in meters kg divided by meter squared gives you a number, and is commonly used as an index to classify overweight and obesity in adults. And WHO defines overweight as BMI equal to or more than 25, and he is obese, and obesity as a BMI equal to or more than 30 is obese. This of course differs between men and women, and this you can calculate it. More than 1.9 billion adults were overweight in 2016, and 650 million obese cases are there throughout the world. And in 2016, more than 1.9 billion adults were overweight, and 650 million were obese. At least 2.8 million people each year die as a result of being overweight or obese. The prevalence of obesity nearly tripled between 1975 to 2016, once associated with the high income countries. Now it is there in almost all the countries, whether it is a low or a middle income countries. Next please. And 38 million children under the age of 5 are overweight or obese in 2019. Childhood obesity is one of the most serious public health concerns, and it is a health challenges of the 21st century. Overweight children are likely to become obese adults. Overweight children are likely to become obese adults in later stages. They are more likely than non-overweight children to develop diabetes and cardiovascular diseases at a younger age, which in turn are associated with higher chance of premature death and disability. Overweight and obesity are linked to more deaths worldwide than underweight. Most of the world's population live in a country where there are more people overweight and obese than underweight. This includes all high income and middle income countries. Diabetes, ischemic heart diseases, and certain cancers are attributable to overweight and obesity. For an individual, obesity is usually the result of an imbalance between calories consumed and calories expended. An increased consumption of energy, particularly dense food, without an equal increase in physical activity leads to an unhealthy increase in weight. That's why I asked you in the beginning, since almost 3 years, 10th, 11th and 12th and the pandemic, almost 4 years. This may cause them to increase more than 4 to 5 kgs of weight, provided if they were consuming the same amount of food. Same, particularly girls students, of course, how serious they are, we know. Even when they are not eating, their mothers, they feed them, and due to this, additional intake will be there. And of course, they examine ourselves. For the past 9 months, we were not doing anything. That's why normally the weight gain will be there. ನಾವು ಜನ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೋಡು. Otherwise,
ಕುತ್ಕೊಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಮುಂದೆ.
Next, please. Children's diet and physical activity habits are influenced by their surrounding environment. Where you live, what your neighbors do, communities do, accordingly you will also follow. That is a common saying. Social and economic development as well as policies in the areas of agriculture, transport and urban planning, environment, education, food processing, distribution and marketing influence children's dietary habits and preferences as well as their physical activity patterns. This, of course, decides. Increasingly, these influences are promoting unhealthy weight gain. Weight gain is not a problem. Unhealthy weight gain is a problem. Improportionate weight gain is a problem, and leading to a steady rise in the prevalence of childhood obesity. Next. How it can be brought down? Eating a healthy diet can help prevent obesity. That's what Okinawa people are following. Only up to 80% your GI tract, only 80%. You keep vacant 20%. That makes you healthy. But we are eating
20% extra.
till,
Not
We use
100%.
20% extra and then go to the pills.
yeah. But now there is a saying in Hindi, कम खाओ तो नींद नहीं आता, ज़्यादा खाओ तो डिस्टर्ब स्लीप होता है. Disturb, that is a philosophy, that is a principle. Next. Maintain a healthy weight by eating a healthy diet. Limit total fat intake, particularly animal fat, and shift fat consumption away from saturated fats to unsaturated fats. And increase consumption of fruit, vegetables, pulse, whole grains, and nuts. And limit the intake of free sugars and salt. We don't want to insist the individual to take less food. But if you are not doing any work, you consume less. If you are active, if you are able to spend it, you eat whatever you want. No problem. That's why we say in training program, eat right, train smart. Eat right and train smart. That's why we have to do physical activity, and of course it helps to maintain a healthy body. People should, that's why based on the recommendations of the WHO, at least 150 minutes of regular moderate intensity physical activity per week reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, colon cancer, and breast. Muscle shortening, balance training can reduce, and you can control your weight. You can, but that is the exercise is the only remedy to reduce your weight and to have a healthy body. Next, please. Look at the picture again. And children obesity has reached epidemic proportion in most part of the world. Children are eating more and exercising less. Eating more and exercising less. Time spent, but another culprit, watching television or using computers and mobiles throughout the day. Throughout the day. And this lack coupled with poor dietary habits has led to significant increases in the number of children with the type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is unable to receive insulin. Even insulin is there in the blood, and the blood sugar level will not come down because the cells are not in a position to absorb glucose. That's why the blood returns back with the same amount of glucose and accumulation will be there, and due to this he becomes diabetic. And hypertension, then predisposition to hypertension, coronary artery diseases and others will take place. Next please. All these are caused due to sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle. What sedentary lifestyle means? A type of lifestyle with no or irregular physical activity. Look at the picture at the bottom. Look at the picture at the bottom. How comfortably he is taking everything and watching television without making any movement. If he does like that for more than 3 to 4 hours every session, what will happen to his body? And he is known as a couch potato, sitting, reading, watching television and computer use for much of the day with little or no vigorous physical activities after your workout. A sedentary lifestyle and lack of physical activity can contribute to or be a risk factor for cardiovascular disease or mortality, depression, obesity, etc. And as per the national guidelines, recommendations that young people should spend only for 2.5 hours watching electronic media and recreation. But what is happening now?
More than 8 hours.
Huh?
More than 8 to 10 hours.
More than 8 to 10 hours. And this leads to different types of health disorders. Always watching a small screen and looking at the computer, looking at the mobile phones, and always instead of talking to them directly, talking through the phones. The people prefer nowadays, even if you are there, they will not speak to you, they will talk to you through your phone. Why not make a deal to keep your body fit and healthy? Even exchanging 30 minutes of TV viewing for some physical activity will deliver real health benefits. And you find out a convenient time according to you only and do it. Next. All those risks can be prevented by regular physical activity. But you have to make your mind, get ready. Even if you are not ready, get ready, think about it, prepare a plan, take action, and maintain a good thing for life. Sometimes you may slip occasionally, is not unusual. But if you are really motivated to do it, you can do it. So many activities are there, opportunities are there. Make use of it when it is given to you. Next. What makes the healthy lifestyle? Eating right, doing correct. Fact, eat a variety of foods. Variety of foods. Base your diet on plenty of foods rich in carbohydrates. Replace saturated with unsaturated fat. Enjoy plenty of fruits and vegetables. Reduce salt and sugar intake. Eat regularly, that is more important. Eat regularly according to time. Morning breakfast, lunch and dinner, 2.5 hours prior to your going to bed. And control the portion of size. Control the portion of size. Again repeating, only eat when you are active more. When you are not active, eat less. And drink plenty of fluids. Maintain a healthy body weight. Get on the move, make it a habit. Get on the move and make it a habit. And start now and keep changing gradually. Keep changing gradually. Gradually means load you increase gradually because the body has the capacity to adapt. Once it is adapted, then immediately you change the intensity and frequency and the duration of the exercise and go for it. Next please. You know the benefits of physical activity by doing a muscular work, cardiovascular work, increased endurance, cardiorespiratory endurance, and strengthen the flexibility at the joints, strength of the muscles, the size of the muscle, the volume of the muscle, the girth of the muscle increases. Due to this, during contraction, it produces more amount of power. Healthier muscles, bones and joints. Healthier muscles, bones and the joints. Increased energy expenditure. When you do work, expenditure of energy is more. And improved body composition, more energy, improved ability to cope with stress, that is more important. You can manage stress. Improved mood, greater self-esteem and a greater sense of well-being. Improved ability to fall asleep and sleep well. These are all the benefits, and the reduction of a reduced risk of dying prematurely from all cases will be decreased. Reduced risk of developing and dying from heart diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure and colon cancer is reduced, and becoming obese is completely reduced, and reduced anxiety, tension and depression, and reduced risk of falls and fractures, and reduced spending for healthcare. But you cannot completely avoid it. The chances of this can be reduced to a minimum extent. Next please. And of course the health risk of physical inactivity, which causes by doing a physical exercises, and reduction of risk if regularly physically active, not once in a month or once in a week or once in a blue moon. I also go to gymnasium to do exercise and discontinuing, that will not help you. Regular means continuously doing every day, and the reduction in risk will be from 20 to 40%. The risk will be reduced. For that you have to make your mind. Next please. Coming to the main aspect, what to do, physical exercise, participation in sports or any physical activity, that of course we leave it to you people. Physical activity is a bodily movement produced by skeletal muscles that results in an expenditure of energy. And physical activity is something we do. Physical activity is a general term that includes sports, dance and activities done at work or at home, such as walking, climbing stairs, moving the lawn, whatever it may be, but you should enjoy, and it is a pleasurable, enjoyable, voluntary participation of activity, not with any force. You have to do on your own and you have to choose accordingly. When people do physical activity, especially for the purpose of getting fit, they want to achieve something. Some people will participate in physical exercise to beautify their body. develop. To do some each work calls for a different types of fitness. To become an army officer, that fitness is different. To become a police officer, that fitness is different. To become a computer operator throughout the day and night, like our friend, morning till evening, night and day, without
Swami.
Kendigana Swami, without closing his eyes. For that, we need a specific type of fitness. Specific type of fitness. Unless he has that motivation to do it, he cannot do it. That occupational fitness is there, health fitness is there, sports fitness is there. In sports fitness, there are so many things. Role fitness is there. Sports means all sports are not equal. All in a particular sport, all different positions are not equal. For that, you require different types of fitness to carry out that work. That is known as occupational fitness. For that, exercise is structured and tends to have fitness as its goal. You have to structure your exercise program in such a way that meets the demand. That meets the demand. And physical fitness is a measure of person's ability to perform physical activities that require endurance, strength, or flexibility. Physical fitness is something you acquire, a characteristic or an attribute one can achieve by physically active. It is a characteristics. Why it is said like that means what actually you need, you get it by doing that. Because you are all going to become a professional, and professionalism means that is ABC of professionalism: appearance, behavior, and communication. Your appearance pleasable, and your behavior acceptable, and your communication something meaningful. Then only you will become a professionalism. Everyone will have a degree and everyone will have a skill. Apart from those degree and knowledge, you must have these human qualities to achieve something better. And physical fitness is something you acquire. You cannot steal and you cannot borrow. You cannot, only by investing your sweat that it can be achieved, and that is acquired. A characteristics or an attribute you can achieve by being a physically active. And you have to do regular physical activity. Fitness cannot be stored. Once achieved fitness cannot be maintained. It is not possible to maintain unless you do a regular physical activity. For that, continuously, regularly you have to do it. And a pattern of physical activity is regular if activities are performed in some order. And sports is something different, that is extraordinary. Competitive sports are different, and it is complex, and it is institutionalized and competitive, and these very characteristics works against moderate and rhythmical exercise. All cannot become a sports persons, but all can acquire a fitness. All cannot become a top class sports persons by playing continuously. Only with certain qualities and dedication and proper motivation and scientifically programmed training program, then only you can achieve it. But fitness, you can achieve it by doing a regular exercise. Next. Then the simple question, why? Why exercise? Why? What makes? And it's to lead a healthy life, the following are the tips. And exercise normalizes the blood sugar level. Exercise helps to fight infectious diseases and degenerative disorders of old age. Nowadays, you have seen only with a good immune system, good physical fitness, they are surviving. but for this, because of the COVID-19 and those with the comorbidity, that is high blood pressure, diabetes, asthmatic, lung diseases and other things, they are vanishing. And exercise lowers the blood cholesterol, very important. Cholesterol level you have to maintain in the blood. Otherwise, the cholesterol will accumulate on the arteries, and due to this, the blood pressure increases, high blood pressure. Exercise improves the function of the brain. Exercise produces hormone that may improve memory and protect against Alzheimer's diseases, and hormone may promote neural growth in brains, and no wonders exercise is called the fountain of youth. Fountain of the youth. Only the thing is, we have to spend time to lead a healthier life in later age too. This is again, it is published in a journal of Nature of Medicine, reputed journal. Next please. And this is not a new thing. Again and again I am telling, this is not a new thing. 2009, 2010, 2016, and last century also, so many regulations they made, so many, that is announcement made. Physical activity is a must. All should be given equal opportunity, irrespective of their age, sex, character, and all those things. And even the disabled child should not be deprived of physical activity. Disabled child. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So many things are there. But in spite of all those things, so many information, so many plans, WHO recommendations, and even the president of IOC, International Olympic Committee, when he was making a opening remark during 2009, he expressed a concern because of this epidemic growth of obesity, overweight, and real cause for this is physical inactivity. For that we have to promote physical activity, promote lifestyle activities, and to get rid of tobacco, get rid of this. So many things they have made. And in July 2010, WHO and the IOC signed a memorandum of understanding that formed the political background for further projects. Through this, the WHO and the IOC will collaborate to promote, first thing, healthy lifestyle, to bring awareness among the population to cultivate healthy lifestyle choices, and including physical activity. And one more slogan was there, sports for all. All should be given opportunity, all should participate, enjoy physical activity, and tobacco-free Olympic Games, and the prevention of childhood obesity. That was the memorandum of understanding signed by these two, WHO and IOC, the world bodies. And during 2010, in spite of that, 2025, one more plan was done, and they want to reduce this child obesity. Next please. Even some international federations, game federations, particularly that International Deep Football Association, FIFA, Football for Health, they launched the program. And during the last century, that is between 80s and 85, I think, I believe, in America, they launched the program, Run for Your Heart. Run for your, not for your legs, run for your heart. Tobacco-free, physical activity. That slogans are health for all. Health for all is a 2010 mission, but that mission is not completely achieved. Next please. The benefits of regular sport and physical activity for physical health have been well documented. Everywhere that information and documented information and global surveys, everything is available. And there's a National Health Survey Guide published in 2012 stated that the evidence that physical activity prevents major chronic disease is indisputable. Time ಆಯ್ತಾ? Indisputable. And in particular, sport and physical activity can play a major role in lowering the risk of cardiovascular disease, certain cancers type 2, diabetes and obesity. There appears to be a graded linear relation between the volume of physical activity and health status, such that the most physically active people are at the lowest risk. In fact, that is there. However, the greatest improvement in health status are seen when people who are least fit become physically active. Next. And again, so many studies proved that physical activity should be given. Physical activity opportunities should be provided to each and every one. Reduced risk of obesity and reduced clustering of cardiovascular diseases risk factors, and produce an immediate benefit, but is also an investment for the future well-being and health of the individual. It is an investment. Investment means in a long run it gives the better results. That is an investment for the future well-being and health of the individual. That's why practice regularly the physical activities. Next place. Investment means in a different way. There is a relationship between sports, physical activity and human development. Again, this is the survey they conducted and the human development survey, and they found that is a strong relationship between sports, physical activity and human development. Human development may be a physical capital. The direct benefits of sports and physical activity, that is gain in physical health and human function, physiological and the metabolic function, including the prevention and mitigation of non-communicable diseases and the conditions such as heart diseases and diabetes, cancer and obesity. That means health of an individual can be improved after giving the opportunity to play and participate in physical activity instead of treating them in the hospitals. And the emotional capital, the psychological and mental health benefits associated with sports and physical activity, including increased level of self-esteem. You will be knowing who you are, what you can do, and what the opponent or the co-part are doing it, and caring, self-efficacy, reduced depression. I didn't get good marks, depressed. I am failed, depressed. Here, sports, winning or losing, take it in a sportive manner, and reduced anxiety and social isolation. That means those who participate in sports and other games, they will not be isolated individually. They want somehow, they find out some good friends and do, and a greater ability to process stressful events. Psychological problems can be avoided, can be reduced. Psychological problems, that is the emotional capital. Individual capital, physical capital and emotional capital. Next please. And individual capital, the elements of the person's character, the more important. That is life skills, interpersonal skills, adjustments, values that accrue via participation in play, sports and other forms of sports and physical activity. Reported benefits in this area include teamwork, cooperation, moral and social responsibility and resilience, and social capital outcomes that arise when networks between people groups, organizations and civil society are strengthened because of participation in group-based physical activity, play or competitive sports. This domain of capital includes the development of both pro-social behaviors and social inclusion through participation in physical activity. That next. And the intellectual capital, there is a relationship between cognitive development and educational gains that are increasingly linked to particular participation in sports and physical activities. ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು, ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಹಾಳಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಇದಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದಾಗ್ತದೆ, girls should not participate in sports, boys should not go to these wrestling halls and all those things, they will become antisocial elements. Nowadays it has been proved beyond any doubt there is a perfect correlation between the participation and the academic achievements. And this feature of capital focuses particularly on the effects of regular exercise or cognitive functioning on subject specific performance at school and on general academic achievement. And the last but not the least is the financial capital, gains in terms of earning power. If you are capable of executing it, if the body, knowledge and other skills, then definitely it gains in terms of earning power. Job performance, effective management of job, productivity and job attainment, along with reduced costs of healthcare. Reduced costs of healthcare. That means it is an investment you are making for your future life. That's why you are required to participate in physical activities. Otherwise, you will be growing in isolation, which will not be useful to anybody, either to you or to your family or to your community or to the nation. And human capital, this is the study conducted by human capital investment. Next please. That's why I told you, you choose your activity according to your convenient. Here the motivation, psychological factors comes. What are your physical needs? What are your social needs? What are your ego needs? What do you want to do by participating in it? Whether it is there is a need for achievement or just simply you are participating, that determines your quality. That's why it's told you in the beginning itself, competitive sports is different and this is different. If at all you want to develop personality development and all, it is listed like this: spirit of cooperation, friendship, unity, empathy, and so many are there. These can be developed easily on the playground. For that, as a student, you have to make use of this, and motivation should be there, and find out. Next please. In spite of all these things, the survey results shows conducted during 2001 to 2016 shows that is, it is a global survey. 96% of the global population was included, and with high income, low income, middle income and all, and they are conducted more than 358 to 400, something like that, and 198 population sample was taken, and they found out only insufficient physical activity they are doing it. That is 25.0 to 32 point, that is my average is 31.7% of men are having insufficient physical activity. And where in case of women, 28.6 to 39.0 in women, and insufficient activity is increased in high income growth countries, that is 14.2 to 17 point are participating, and the remaining 27 point they are not having this. And unfortunately, there is ample evidence that not all children and young people spend enough time being physically active. This is again a Lancet observation based that during 2016 series. Next please. Why? Why? That is the question now. Why? Reasons for not participating in sport or physical activity. We say road accident, wear helmet, wear helmet, wear helmet, wear helmet. In spite of that also, particularly engineering students, tuition going students, in every year, good number of students are dying on the road. Information is there. Information is there. Instead of wearing the helmet to the head, they keep the helmet here, and while traveling on a motorcycle, if sudden turn and blocks, dies. Information without awareness is useless. Information without awareness is useless. That's why you have to aware yourself. It should come from within. That's why we say it's a personal journey. Keep your body fit, make your body fit, and enjoy this physical fitness and enjoy the life. And in spite of that, campuses, everything is there. Participation is not there. Nobody is there seen on the field. Vijana Sarita? Nowadays it is more. Nowadays it is more. For your information again, in our university I conducted 2-3 surveys, unofficial surveys, to find out how many students are participating in sports and physical activity. You will be surprised to know it. Only 14.2% of boy students and only 7% of girl students are participating in sports. We have more than 220 colleges, something like that. More than lakhs undergraduate students, and so many students are there. Maharajas College, Yuvarajas College, and even Gangotri. In Maharanis, more than 5,000 girls are there. 5,000 girls are there, but hardly few. And the reasons for not participating in sport, or physical activity, they give excuses like this. This is an Hong Kong study made in there is a Hong Kong University, 3 campuses are there. There they have made this survey, and they found out exercising takes too much of my time. That's why I don't want to participate. Too much of my time. Exercise tires me, it hurts. No doubt, it tires. But if it is carefully done, it will not hurt. Places for me to exercise are too far away. I am too embarrassed to exercise, it will look silly because I am so thin or so hefty, it will look silly. It costs too much money to exercise because they charge, if you use these facilities, it will be charged like this. Exercise facilities do not have convenient schedules for me. I do not know anyone who would go exercise with me. Do not know what to do. Exercise takes too much time from family relationship commitment. I do not feel comfortable to show my body in front of others, that is the girl students and all. Exercise is a hard work for me. Don't like to sweat. There are too few places for me to exercise. Physical activity is not my priority. it is not that important. Only getting degree, getting knowledge, getting skills, and getting a job is important at present. After a certain time, I do not feel fit enough. Others seems to be in a very good shape. These are the some reasons expressed by the students why they are not participating in sport or physical activity. Their percentage is, next please, graph it down. Percentage is like this. It varies from 7.5% to 38.8% of different excuses. I am too old. I am too old. Now it is not possible. I am a grown-up boy now. I can't. Like that. Next. But the benefits of your participation should outweigh the risks. For that, know yourself. Why does being active matter? What are the health benefits of physical activity? Which activity is best for me? How can I overcome barriers? What risks should I consider? How can I plan a safe routine? Can I get too much exercise? Warning, the strenuous exercise may protect the heart against the very problems to which it also contributes. Overtraining, overdoing, and some particular exercises without supervision, if you do it, it definitely hurts you. For that, supervision is required and knowledge how to do and all those things you must know it. Next, it takes a village to raise a child. It's an African proverb. Look at the children, how they are enjoying the physical activity. Next, please. And talking about and analyzing sport is not a playing sports. Enjoying sports, looking at the computer and clapping, that sitting comfortably on a wheelchair or a rotating chair and enjoying without sweating out, that is not enjoyable. That will not give. Look at the back of the boy who is sitting there. What will happen to him? The spinal cord will, that becomes a postural defect. Next, and sports teaches you character. Which is very much essential, which is very much required to do any profession. It teaches you to play by the rules, rule-abiding citizen. It teaches you to know what it feels like to win and lose it, and teaches you about life. They reveal character. They reveal character. Those things are demonstrated and character will be revealed how you behave. Next, please. And there are 5 elements of sports training are stamina, speed, strength, skill, and spirit. But the greatest of those is a spirit. You possess stamina, speed, and strength, skill, and spirit. Skill, but out of all these things, the spirit is the greatest. Next, please. I told you already, age is no barrier. Age is no barrier. Whether you are 20 or 70 or 80, age is no barrier. It is a limitation you put on your mind. Don't lose your mind. Participate, enjoy. Next, please. And more than anything else, physical activity and the sport are the greatest physical poetry. Involve yourself and enjoy and feel the poetry and enjoy the poetry. That's why I advise all of you who have joined this great, esteemed, one of the best institution in engineering offering degree courses. Here in the campus, you have all the facilities. make use of these facilities, enjoy your life at the campus, and come out as a good citizen with a knowledge and a wisdom. I wish you all success in your future endeavor. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನ
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಹಾಂ
ಸ್ಕಂದ ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ
ಏನಪ್ಪ
ಸರ್ ಹೇಳೋಣ ಸರ್ ಬಂದು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸ್ಕಂದ ಸರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು
ಏನಪ್ಪ
ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟೀಸ್
ಹ್ಞೂ ಬೇಕಾ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಕವರ್ ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಕವರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕವರ್
Thank you, sir. Dear students, sir started his session citing a quote from Hippocrates. I quote, "Eating alone will not keep a man well, but also needs exercise." He went on to emphasize the importance of healthy lifestyle and physical activity on health and well-being of a person. The session was truly informative and wonderful. We should all thank Professor Chandrakumar sir for this. Thank you, sir. And we have some questions given out by the students. I would like to ask those questions to sir.
Please.
And one of the question by the student was, how dangerous is over exercise?
Too much. When we say it is a over exercise, when the body is not in a position to withstand the load, that hurts. That hurts. Overdoing, that's why I told you in the beginning, overtraining in the initial stages, over enthusiasm is there. Without knowing how to do and what to do, you will be doing exercise and you are straining. For that, first you have to make a base, general exercises, and your cardiorespiratory endurance improves. Then go for strength training. All exercises are good, and at the same time, all exercises are bad. You have to do it very cautiously, meticulously, and scientifically. Otherwise, if you do exercises in a wrong way, accordingly the muscles adjust.
So it is just like too much is too bad.
That's there. That is too much. That is individual ability.
Yes.
When it becomes too much to you, you must understand. That's why before you are going to any training active program, understand the activities first. That's why we say in the beginning, don't enter into the gymnasium hall alone. And without doing warming up, don't do the exercises. That systematically, that's why exercise, when you say it is a structured, scientifically proved. Structured means you have to do warming up, you have to do first exercise, second exercise, and in between the exercises you have to give proper adequate rest to recover. Without knowing all these things, if you do it, then it becomes overload, and due to this overload anything may happen. Anything may happen. Some of the people have collapsed in the gymnasium. Some of the people, without knowing how to swim, they drowned. Don't do that. You have used the word overdoing. That means you know, don't do it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, we have another question. One of the student has asked, can we mentally become strong through physical activities?
Definitely, definitely, no doubt in it.
How is it possible?
How is it means your self-esteem is improved and your mental ability and knowing each other, doing with the teams and all those things will improve and you will not go into isolation. That's why I told you in the isolation. Say for example, if you are not getting required marks, you have all achieved now, no doubt in it, no doubt in it, because you got a seat in a very prestigious institution. To do that, your investment, that is a lot of investment is there. Investment in the form of so many things, studying and all these things. What would have happened in case if you didn't get a job, seat here? What would have happened? Nothing will have happened. You can try another thing. But to do that, try again, or do this, achieve. Success will not come all at once. If you just refer back to the so many success stories, in the initial stages, so many things will happen. For that, failure, first you have to taste the failures. Taste the failures. That's why mental ability. How to cope with stress, those things will come by participating in sports. That is mental thing. Your anxiety level will come down. Anxiety level will come down.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, we have another question from a student of electronics and instrumentation. He says, fasting is done in most of our religions, be it Hinduism, Jainism, Islam or any, but it is done differently for different religions. So, how is fasting advantageous or disadvantageous to a person's health?
I don't want to say with regard to religion. Totally only a touch. Fasting is not a good thing. As per the nutrition experts, deprivation of food is a punishment. Overeating is a crime. Deprivation of food is punishment. Overeating is a crime. Why you are fasting? The reasons for fasting?
Just to shed the weight.
No, to reduce the weight. And weight reduction can be done effectively by eating properly. Doing exercise program systematically, regularly. Not just keeping away the food. Otherwise, what will happen? Go say, for example, 110 kgs, if you fast, then sag will be there, muscular, these things, this. And you can see. For that, simply don't go for this, I will make you 6-pack, 7-packs like that. So many things are there, advertisements in the gymnasium. Don't believe all those things. Do mehnat aap karna hai. Mehnat. That means involve yourself. Involve yourself. Eat, that's why I said one slogan. Eat right, train smart. Then your body weight will be maintained. Don't go for fasting. Don't go for liquid food. Don't go for only fruit juices. Don't go for, so many things are there. This like that. Don't do all those things. And don't lose your mind. Lose your weight by doing exercise.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Sir, I have another question. People say walking an hour is the best medicine. Is it true?
Walking an hour, walking is good. Walking with what intensity, what rate, that is, how much distance you are covering, that is all important. Whether that walking brings out any physiological load on your body, that is more important. Whether that walking makes your heartbeat goes up, that is important. Walking simply just like a tortoise, that if you does that walking, it is no good. If it is a normal load, it is not good. It is not, if it is overload, that is also not good. It should be only moderate. How much distance, with what rate, and how long, that is important.
Okay.
Walking is a good exercise.
So
Why?
slow walking with 10, for 10 kilometers,
Ah.
is it okay, sir? Because we don't know that.
That's also the slow walking with the 10 kilometer. How much time it is required to cover the 10 kilometer?
Okay.
So generally, doctors say
Doctor-
30 minutes, fast
That
walking.
means brisk walking, they say.
Okay.
Generally, they say brisk walking. Brisk means one that is imposed brisk may not be suiting me. That's why individual capacity. Huh? Bande.
Okay. So can I go to the next question?
Please, sir.
Okay.
Are you convinced?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
If you go to gym
Ah.
and discontinue it after a while, we will generally gain weight after some time. Why?
While going to gym, you are consuming certain amount of food. After leaving the gym also, you are consuming the same amount.
But not doing exercise.
Huh? Not expending. The expenditure of energy is not there. Then what will happen to the additional food? It accumulates. Vulnerable area ಗಳಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಅದು
Yes.
ಅವೆಲ್ಲ accumulate ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
So it is not the effect of gym, but
It is not the effect of the gym, it is not the effect of food also, it is the effect of non-continuing.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, I have another question. This is the last one.
Yeah.
If I have to choose between the activities, yoga, gym and walk, which one is the most effective one?
For this I have to say one beautiful spiritual story is there. Beautiful spiritual story that is told by our great Siddheshwara Swamiji. Shall I tell you all
Yeah,
those
please,
things?
sir.
Huh?
Please.
Once it so happened, one guru was there in one particular place, and like the question who asked, so many people went to him, and he asked, they said, sir, kindly show us the God. All people are telling that God is seen by you. Please tell me the way and means to achieve that. That guru kept silence and went to some river was flowing like that there, and he said that disciple to watch in that for particular period. Next month I will come there. He was looking, observing everything. Then after 1 month again that guru came. He asked, did you see that? What did you see? What is there, sir? It is water. It is not water. Something, first he never said water. But he said something is moving here and there. This. Now, with concentration, you see, 1 more month. Like that, 3 over. After 3rd month, what is there, sir? Nothing is there. It is only water. Then you make a search. So many activities are there. Whether yoga is good for you, whether calisthenic exercises are good for you, whether gymnastic exercises are good for you, whether only bodybuilding exercises are good for you, or whether to participate in physical activity, you decide. That is left to you. Left to you. There is no good and bad in activity. How you take it. So in the previous these things, kabaddi don't go, these don't go, something like that. Now it is kabaddi is a very famous activity nowadays and earning lot of money next to cricket. Pro kabaddi.
Thank you, sir. Some of our faculty members may be having some questions, and those questions will be taken after this session. So,
Please, I don't mind.
Any questions from any of the faculty members? No.
Any questions?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your information, and we are very grateful to you for accepting our invitation and coming over here and to present the things to us. And I request Dr. Umesh, Professor of Information Science and Engineering, to present our honorable speaker with a token of appreciation for his valid presence here. Please, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So with this, we are ending today's session, and thank you all. And before saying thanks, I should introduce myself. I am Dr. Kumar Swami, professor in the Department of Chemistry. Thank you very much.
No, wait, let us, we'll congratulate and they are, keep on
Madam,
sitting
Savita
in
madam, Savita
patience.
madam,
No,
will
you
back
be here, you be here. No, today it is the first day of the 2021, okay? So what is your resolution for a first year? Will you want to be a physical fit and mental fit, or only mental fit? So studies will give you the excellence in mental. So how about your what do you call the health issues? So after over a period of time, you will be looking like old age
Take
and
care of your
body and your baldy, some of the things, those things. So you look like very aged person compared to us. So that's why be healthy. That's what sir was saying, trying to say you all. And happy new year once again from all our core committee members. Happy new year 2021. Thank you. We'll join tomorrow.
Nowadays, it's a very common, parents are taking their children to the hospitals. Huh?
Yeah, it's true.
That too, cardiovascular respiratory